Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope that you are feeling excited for this course. Especially if this is your first time taking ASL class. I know you might have a little bit of nervous energy, but I hope you have some excitement you're looking forward to. And I hope you really can't wait because this is a 17-week course, and they actually changed it to a 14-week course. So it's condensed now. So some of you maybe are itching and you just can't wait to get going. So good news. Today's your first day. We're ready to get rolling. So we're going to talk about a few things. I just wanted to discuss about a little bit about myself, introduce myself as your professor. My name is John O'Laughlin, and I actually have two sign names. This is my sign name, John, and then I've got the O'Laughlin sign name. And so I'll be your deaf professor. So some of you maybe might have a bit of culture shock, and that's okay. I'm used to that. I'm happy to work with you and discuss anything with you. And I grew up deaf, actually. I used ASL as my main mode of communication and written English. But we'll find our common grounds, and I'm sure we'll have a great time working together. So I'll introduce myself, but before I forget, I just wanted to talk about my hobbies. I love surfing and I love scuba. I'm a water guy, and I live in San Diego, California, and so that's about 800 miles south down there. We got sun all year long. Um, I'll see you quite often. We'll be up on Zoom together doing video calls. And if it happens that and also as far as uh, oh, and so I live also, there's a conference that I do attend that I'll be in the Bay Area and Oakland, San Francisco area. So most of the time I'm available on Zoom if needed. And so I guess we can just get going about the talking about the syllabus first. So we'll discuss the syllabus. I just wanted to share a little bit of some funny stuff about the syllabus. Now, I remember going into university, taking an English class, going back to Gallaudet University, Deaf University in Washington, D.C. I took English, and I had a professor who signed. And the first day of class, they said, "Hey, let's go do a review." And they said, "Let's do the silly," which what they meant was the syllabus, but they signed silly. The Gallaudet students were all like, "What are you talking about? The silly bus." And the teacher said, "Syllabus, silly bus. You're all going to get on the silly bus. We're going to get on the silly bus together, and we're going to go up through it as to how the semester is going to go." But actually, he meant the syllabus, so it was a little play on words because it sounds like silly bus. Yeah, so he came up with that idiom instead of spelling syllabus the whole time. But formally, we spell syllabus. So, anyways, so let's review the syllabus. We'll touch on a few areas and some important parts that you need to know about the syllabus. Okay, so let's get going here. So now that I've clicked on syllabus, we'll take a look at the syllabus and we'll just review it together. Congratulations. Class starts today, September the 9th. I'm sure some of you are all ready. And when was the last day of class? Unfortunately, it is December the 13th. So that gives us 14 weeks of lessons, not the 17 weeks that we normally have. So this is a condensed course, meaning it's going to be more work, more intense. And the class expectations for the 17-week course and the 14-week course are basically the same. So if you don't know, I teach a 4-week course as well in the past, and we used the same grading, the same assignments and homework. So we're going to follow that same sort of structure in the 4-week course, and students were able to do it with good time management skills. So I think 14 weeks is very doable for you. But communication is really important. If you need more time, you need an extension, that's totally fine, but just don't put it off, please. Let me know as soon as possible. So, and then we've got the Zoom office hours 2 to 4. And you can also text me and just make sure that I'm available. And so this is the student learning outcomes. We abbreviate that to SLO, and there's 4 right there that we have to meet for you to pass this course and move on and take ASL 2. So here's the first outcome we're looking for. Responding to simple conversations and starting simple conversations in ASL. And using and understanding just basic vocabulary for general everyday things. And then using very simple grammatical structures. And we're also going to discuss culture and history of deaf people and ASL. So it's very important to meet all of those 4 expectations to do well in this course, and also to help your language to develop. In ASL, there's 3 aspects that are important. ASL knowledge, of course. Oh, sorry. What was that again? Expressive, that's right. And then receptive skills. So the good news is that you're going to have a tremendous amount of practice with receptive language. And then we'll have plenty of opportunities. This is the sign for that, but to practice and develop your expressive language. And also, there's going to be plenty of resources related to knowledge of grammar. So yeah, that's some examples for you. So those 3 aspects, and you build on those in ASL 2. We do require a textbook. So please, I'll ask you to subscribe. So unit 1 to 5 is what we need. So for ASL 1, you have to subscribe rather to unit 1 through 5. I'll be teaching ASL 2 in the spring. And if you can, in ASL 2, we're going to require the units 6 through 10 in the same textbook. So the way that I teach the course is a lot of emphasis on immersive experience. So that's really how I want to teach my course. You can watch my lectures, my videos. All of them are a lot of ASL. However, I'll also have English. I'll also have the English text there along with that as well. So you'll see the English text of what I'm saying, but I'm going to be signing the exact same thing. But you'll notice how I translate it over, and you'll notice the word order from English to ASL is very different. Um, and this will be a teachable moment for you. I'll be using that as an opportunity for you to have that immersive learning. And I also want you to develop your receptive skills, and I'll also use that to help you develop your expressive skills. And you'll also be able to do that with me and your classmates as well. Oh, yeah, you'll have to work with your classmates. Now, why will you have to work with your classmates? There's a good reason for that. I've seen a lot of ASL online classes, and most of them are based on the teacher to student conversation, interactions, right? And the resulting language development is, well, it's so-so. It's the minimal that we're looking for. But I decided that I wanted to add student to student interaction. And we're also going to have some teacher to student as well. And I've seen a big difference in my experience with my ASL 1 students who decide to really go on and take ASL 2. If they decide to take the ASL 2, they're going to have plenty of skills, virtual opportunities to interact and get that experience that they need to be ready for the second class. So we'll have to do a lot of interaction in our class, a lot of activities with your classmates, and we're going to discuss what that's going to look like. So I just wanted to really impress that that's going to be the structure of this class. Yeah, so you see that in highlighted there in blue. So I just wanted to really highlight that it is going to be very interactive. So how I teach typically in front of the class is I will try to make some sort of like as if it was in person, but I'll do it virtually. Yeah. Oh, yes, right. Okay. Okay, so obviously this is an ASL class. It's not a spoken language. It doesn't require spoken language. ASL is its own language. It's its own ball, so to speak. So when we're interacting on Zoom or in any way, we can communicate through chat, English messages back and forth, obviously. But if you do have enough language, we can just talk in ASL, but it's not going to be graded. And I'll just give you some feedback on your language. Okay? Okay, another thing I wanted to highlight is that when responding to your messages, give me 48 hours. And that doesn't include the weekend, because I might be gone surfing or hiking or out in the ocean doing other stuff. So I like to have that work-life balance. So I want you as well to have that balance on your weekends. And I want you to take enough time to rest for yourselves. If you want to take the weekend to do homework, that's your prerogative. But all your homework is going to be due on Tuesdays. So everything will be due on Tuesdays. Just keep that in mind. So you're going to have a lot of opportunities to get things done during the week. And the weekend, if you get in touch with me, like go ahead, you can get in touch with me, but don't expect a speedy response. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so the course grading system. So we have a number of things within this. We've got your worksheets, your quizzes, your SOAR, your self-observation assessment review. Your SOAR is actually pretty cool. You'll have opportunity to watch a proficient signer, and you'll see English captions at the same time, and you'll see how to sign certain things. They've translated that from English over into ASL. So pay attention, please, to the word order. Also, pay attention to the non-manual markers on the signer's face, the facial expressions, because that's going to be things that are graded in your work. And after that, you're going to film yourself, and you're going to have to you're going to have to you're going to be marked on a rubric. So we'll compare your video to the rubric, and hopefully I'll be able to give you full points. Now, when it comes to grammar and structure, we're going to discuss that a little bit later, but we're going to do, a pretty deep dive on Unit 1.3. But I'll hold that for a little bit later. Okay, story comprehension. There's going to be unit comprehension tests and also production tests for each unit. And then there's those three things I highlighted. So the unit project. So you're going to have 5 of those, one of those for each unit. And why do we have that many? Well, basically, your midterm and your final exam, that's in lieu of that. So there's no exam, but might be you think that it's pretty a good deal, but everything is like a spiral, right? All of the experiences and the learning that you do in this class. So the lectures for the class are more knowledge-based, and they're going to impress, knowledge that you're going to have for the exam, that sort of thing. Now, but this is really a language-based class, and what we're looking to do is we're looking to progress in our language this semester. So for the unit project, it's a really cool opportunity. You just have to meet the requirements. And I'll encourage you to show your ingenuity, your innovation in the use of your language and your skill. And that will help you to really make progress and remember. Another thing, too, is the interactive activities. So we're going to have 2 of those that are going to be graded. There's going to be the Zoom partner activity. So you'll need to find a Zoom partner for that one, and you're going to work together. So I'll discuss that a bit more later. And then we're going to have the talk, the dialogue rather, the dialogue chain. And we'll talk about that a little bit later too. Now, moving on, you'll also see in the grading that there's going to be two writing activities, or rather, let me go back. There's going to be note 2, and 4. And so I'll kind of give you an overview of what that's going to be like too, and what you have to do for that. Just letting you know, we're going to be switching interpreters now, so you'll hear a female voice.
Now you're able to see the two interpreters who have just switched. If some of you are considering becoming an interpreter, you might be able to observe the two working today and you can see how they do their job. And typically, after about 20 minutes, they will switch off. And the purpose of that is to ensure that their processing skills in both languages, English to ASL and ASL to English, is still fluid and seamless. You don't want an interpreter to become exhausted and then they start misunderstanding. It's important if you want to become an interpreter, you're able to observe the two working today. Now we're going to discuss the remainder of the semester. This is pretty simple here that I just highlighted. If you're considering
Cheating.
if you're considering cheating, I have the best strategy for you to avoid that. Study, practice, use sign language more. There's really no reason for you to have to cheat. And most of you will live in the Bay Area or near the Bay Area. And the Bay Area has one of the largest deaf communities in the country. There's one of the largest deaf schools as well. There's a deaf and hard of hearing program in the Bay Area. So it's imperative for you to, I don't want to say prove your worth. However, it's important for you to feel good about yourself. It's important for you to put in the work receptively and expressively to better improve your skills, and you'll have that for life. An example of that would be when I lived in Brazil at one point in my life, and I was learning Portuguese, and I was also learning Brazilian Sign Language. I didn't cheat. I put my head down and I worked. There were a ton of mistakes that were made, but I kept going. I didn't give up. And even though I didn't get an A, I did pass the class, but I did not get a perfect score. That helped. And I'm able to communicate in Brazilian Sign Language. And that took after 12 years. It took me 12 years. So, well, now it's 13 years. But when I was learning in the beginning, I was 21 and now I'm 34. I just turned 34. So that you really need to be able to invest your time and don't cheat. Don't cheat your way through. If you have a disability and you need accommodations, please reach out to the DRD, the Disability Resources Department, and I will do my best to support you as well. If there's a medical condition or something like that, just let me know and we can work through it. Mental health, stress management, Please make sure that you are finding a good balance and you're feeling comfortable in order to be successful within this class. Um, Diversity in Title IX statement. We value all people and there's no discrimination. Now the schedule of the class. At week 8, we'll be doing a check-in. If there's anything that you need help with, specific things, really anything, I will be available to check in on that. I hope you all hopped on the silly bus and took that journey with me. And now we're going to get off that silly bus. We're going to make a pit stop, a bus stop. And you're going to see the sign. And it's going to be, what is the sign? Really just your ASL dictionary. So we're going to get off at that bus stop and we're going to see the sign that says, what is the sign? You see that here? Suppose maybe, for example, you forgot the sign for mom. You'll type in mom, click search, and it opens up. So now you know the sign for mom or mother. Another example, suppose you watched Unit 1.3 lecture, the lecture videos. You watched all of them, you understood them, but you wanted to review some vocabulary specific to Unit 1.3. Click search. Maybe I forgot how to sign
Two of you.
two of you. How do I sign two of you? Can't remember, can't remember. You can look here on the video. Two of you. Now we're going to get back on the silly bus and we're going to go for a ride to the next bus stop called Modules. We're riding that bus. It's rocky. We're getting there. Oh, we've arrived. We're going to get off and take a look at modules. I know you probably are like, this professor, talking to us like we're elementary students. No, I'm just trying to make the syllabus experience more enjoyable. And remember, I was a former college student myself, and I remember just sitting there listening. So let's move forward. Modules, we're going to touch base on that now. Please complete.
Student enrollment.
Please complete the student enrollment, and you'll be able to see the rest of the materials for the course. You'll see Unit 1 here, my lecture videos, as well as the PowerPoint. An example of this, let's see here. So now we're starting Unit 1.3, and you notice that I've been a bit repetitive. on 1.3. Why is 1.3 so important? He's always saying, he's not saying 4.1 or 3.2, but really 1.3 has been the target of our discussion. And unit 1.3 is the ASL foundation. And there's a lot of emphasis on a good understanding of the grammar structure. So you'll watch how I'm presenting in word order, how to use the non-manual markers, facial expressions for what the purpose is of what I'm trying to communicate. If my eyebrows are up, if my eyebrows are down, if they're neutral, if my head is doing a shake or a nod. There's an abundance of non-manual markers, and please pay attention to Unit 1.3. If you do that and you really pay attention to the grammar list well and you're practicing, you will really set the tone for the rest of the semester. You'll have a good understanding of the ASL grammar structure. And that's very important. Why you're probably wondering why I'm going to be teaching ASL grammar. And I've taught several ASL students who have become interpreters. And when I'm teaching ASL classes, under assumption, I assume maybe that you'll all become interpreters. So I teach a bit more in depth versus just the ABCs or simple conversation. I really want to dive deep into the grammar and play with the language and be able to do it well. So please pay attention to Unit 1.3. I'm really going to harp on that. And after that, you'll realize, oh, okay, I get it now. But put your trust in me and I got you. Um, about 2 years ago for this specific course, it's been about 2 years that I've been teaching this specific course. So anyways, let's move forward and I'm going to show you what the lecture videos look like. Unit 1.3, we're back at it. You're probably wondering who that guy was. That was me on the videos. That was last year in the fall. I made videos for the lectures. I shaved my head. I was ready. I thought, okay, let's do this. And I was making these videos, and my beard started to grow. And I thought, why not? Let's make it while my beard's grown out. So I grew my hair out as well. Well, my hair is down to about here now. I have grown it out. And I was thinking, why not? For fun, let's make the videos. And I finished with ASL 4. And I decided, I'm sorry, after ASL 4, I decided to shave my head. And then here we are. ASL 1 to ASL 4, my beard and all of that. So by the time, I'm sorry, I shaved my beard. And so it looks like a completely different person by the ASL 4 course. Hopefully that clarifies some confusion on who that guy is on the lectures. It is me about 6 months ago. I have not shaved my beard since March 2nd. So it's been about 6 months. Anyway, back to the point. This is where you would find the lecture videos. And I do encourage all of you to open up the PowerPoint. Let's see, there we are. You see the lecture videos and my PowerPoint is also available. So what's on the PowerPoint in English will match exactly of what I was putting in ASL, but the translation of it. Good so far? Okay, week 1. The snapshot videos, there's 3. There's ASL language, English language, and Spanish language. Okay, so that's English. There's the translation in Spanish. Okay. Your worksheets. We're going to go over that here. Some worksheets are very, very short, maybe 2 questions. Some go up to 10 questions. It just varies. And then your snapshot quiz, that's based on the videos, your snapshot videos. So now, this is just optional. If you're wanting to continue to improve your receptive skills, you can work with your Zoom partner. And I really encourage all of you to do that. I'll show you an example. So this is an example of what that optional practice could be. So for next week, you need to find your Zoom partner for Unit 1 and Unit 2 for your assignment. So your Zoom partner, you might be wondering what that is. It's really just in order to be able to practice your expressive and receptive skills using American Sign Language. So that's going to be a pretty great experience for you. Obviously, if we had a face-to-face class, you would be doing it in person. So you're going to be working with the same Zoom partner for the first 2 units of the course, Unit 1 and Unit 2. And that means that you're going to be finding a new Zoom partner for Unit 3 and Unit 4. So for today, Unit 1 and Unit 2, you're going to be having the same Zoom partner until October 22nd. Then you'll be finding a new partner. You'll be having a new partner for Unit 3 and Unit 4 until November 23rd. Okay. And then the last part of the course will be finishing out the semester December 13th. That's just the layout. So you're probably wondering, how do I find a Zoom partner? So we're going to get back on that silly bus and we're going to be going on a short trip. We're on that bus again and we see another sign and we see a group of people. So we're going to get off of the bus right now. You can pick anyone here. Okay. All right.
Okay, so you see the interpreter switched again. I don't know if you noticed that. So you can see that's a real life example of how it works in the profession. Okay, so moving on, we have a little more optional practice here. And this is mandatory, this stuff here, mandatory. So in general, it's very important for you to watch the lectures first, and then complete the other parts of the modules. I asked a lot of students, if they felt stressed, and they felt like it was, pretty well paced. So that's generally how it's been in the past. But if, as you're going through Unit 1 and you get to the end of Unit 1, that's when it's going to become a little bit busy. It'll be busy. Um, as you're getting right towards the end of Unit 1. And then you see the SOAR assignment as well right there. And you're going to see the eyebrows up. And notice she's saying, "Are you deaf?" So in my grammar list, you're going to have three different ways of translating "Are you deaf?" Say, "Are you deaf?" this way, "Deaf you," or "Deaf you." Three different ways of signing that. And if you can bring it down to something as simple as that. You can just have one sign to say, "Are you deaf?" And so I'm just going to hold on that until Unit 3 and 4, and I'll give you a little bit more explanation on that. But when you get more advanced with the language, you'll be able to condense things like that. Moving on, you can see the rubric for that assignment. And then same thing, watch the signing video that's been posted, and then you're going to post, or rather upload your video. And then we can compare your work. And then if you meet all of the different requirements in the rubric, then you'll get full points. So look at the vocabulary, look at the non-manual markers that are there. And then we have the Unit 1 project. So this is in lieu or a replacement for the midterm exam. And I want you really to get creative with this. And to meet those requirements, you've got three math problems. You're introducing or making introductions, days of the week, and then how you're feeling. And so you'll have to meet all of those in order to pass. So you'll be working on all of those different things. A lot of students enjoy this because they're able to completely reveal themselves, in there and use their creativity to have a lot of fun with it. So, but you know what? As long as you're meeting the requirements, that's all that's necessary. Right. Okay. So moving on to the interactive dialogue chain. So this is an interactive assignment. It's the dialogue chain. You'll see I start with a video. I've got some questions there. And then whoever the second student is going to have to respond to one of my questions. And then after they respond, they'll ask another question. Then the next student has to respond to that question, and so on and so forth. Response, question, back and forth. And it's going to end up going like a chain from student to student to student to student, starting with my question to a response, question, vice versa, continuing on down the chain. And the intention is that we become very comfortable with signing, with using different questions, building our receptive skills and our expressive skills, and also make friends along the way. Two more. So we got the Zoom partner dialogue script. So please follow the instructions on this. You'll see it right here. Choose 5 scripts, but you're going to see a lot of them here. You shouldn't feel afraid of this, really. All the scripts are from the lecture videos and from the PowerPoints, so it's not going to be any big surprise. So you and your partner just have to make some time, schedule out some time to practice it. Use Zoom at the same time. I suggest using Zoom, not FaceTime, or the quality on some other platforms are not so great. Zoom is really good. Record the conversation. Should be 5 to 10 minutes, and you're done all your work. If you really work hard at it, it's a good way to keep up your language development. But at the same time, it empowers you to choose which script you want to work with. So I hope that that's clear. Just one more, not question, but one more thing rather. I signed question there. But yeah, we got one more thing here. Okay, so the written assignment, you're going to have 2 of these. Ooh, okay, so here it is. Yeah. So the purpose of this is to just kind of research deaf history, deaf people, language, etc., and do a little bit of research on that, and then type out 3 paragraphs with citations, and then you can upload that. So your class is going to be able to see your work, and you'll learn from the work of your classmates. So knowledge sharing. Knowledge is very powerful. It's a very powerful tool to share our knowledge with others. So what else? There was something else I was thinking of too. I think I've covered everything. Are there any questions from either of the students who are connected today? If you don't mind, I'm just going to eat. I've got my food here. You can use your mics as well if you'd like to for the two students who are connected to the class. But if there's no questions, then I guess that's it for today. I'm gonna actually stop the recording right now, and I'll upload the orientation video. But I'll stay a little bit longer with the two students who are connected today and just make sure they're good to go. Okay?